Hi, this is the second part in a video series where we'll be making a short portal mod currently titled Frostbite. In the last episode I recapped you on what I've made so far, and in this episode I'll be showing you the development of the third map which I've been working on for the past few weeks. First I need a puzzle design. To do this I usually spend a while in PTI just messing around until I have an idea. All I knew I wanted for this map was that I wanted to involve a pushing vacuum, as the last test involved a pulling one. The plan was to display both pushing and pulling on their own to familiarise the player, then in later tests I plan to involve both in the same map. So, to substitute for a vacuum in PTI, I used a funnel. Now, I could use BMod to use actual vacuums in PTI, but I don't. I don't really have a reason, I just don't. Anyway, I came up with this idea of pushing a cube as it's dropping in order to get it into a new location. I messed around with that for a while, then I decided to plagiarise myself. In Portal + Overgrown, you push a cube whilst on a raised area. There you do it to get the cube to you, here you do it to push a cube onto a button. It's harder to demonstrate what that looks like accurately with a funnel, but I know it will still be possible. Now that I had the function for the vacuum, I wanted to add another purpose for the cube. So I turned it into a reflection cube and added a laser to the map. The laser starts already powering this laser catcher here, which activates this fizzler. You block the laser with the cube, and then you can go through the fizzler. Reaching the other side, if you power this laser catcher here by redirecting the laser through a portal which raises this platform, then from this raised area you can use the vacuum to push the cube into the fizzler. Respawn it, then push the cube onto the button which beats the map. I felt the test still needed more, so beyond the laser, tube and button, I decided to add some blue gel to the test. To activate it, it requires the button held down by the cube and a new button next to it. Although there's no point adding the new button in the PTI version, as normal PTI doesn't support AND gates. The idea was normally when this gel drops, it isn't far enough to reach this platform, but if you boost it with the vacuum as it's falling, then it will be enough. This turned out to be extremely unreliable and exploitable, and just didn't seem like it could work the way I wanted it to. I had to figure out some sort of change. I really didn't want to destroy what I'd made so far and come up with some new puzzle. I mean, I can't just use this puzzle up until this point and then it just magically becomes some other puzzle. Oh, wait, I'm not making Portal Plus anymore. I can do whatever I want. So when you press the button, the scientist character, who you would know about if you watched the last video, but if you didn't, he's a character who's helping you to reach him. Anyway, he tells you that the gel has frozen, so he reconstructs the chamber so that you can press a button which briefly boosts the power of the vacuum, allowing you to launch yourself at the exit and beat the map. I tend to do unconventional things like these a lot in my maps. For example, there's that part in Portal + Overgrown where the glass shatters, which alters the puzzle. I can't say that went down brilliantly with everyone, but I like it. Will there be people who complain about this in Frostbite? Yeah, probably, but I like making stuff that I would personally enjoy, so I don't care if anyone else thinks I should be more conventional. Sorry, not really. Now I need to make this map in Hammer, which I get the basic map done fairly quickly, and this time including the vacuum. What takes more time is making the room change, but the result is the button being lifted up and it then flings the cube out. It descends into the floor and is replaced with black tiles. Over here the floor opens up and is replaced by this angled panel. Nearby to the panel I add a button. When you press the button it gives you a few seconds, then the power of the vacuum is boosted and you're able to be launched at the door. But this isn't dynamic. It detects if there is a portal on both the panel and the vacuum. Then when the button reaches the timer, if all these things are valid, it then enables a catapult, launching you at the door. Now I can't do it dynamically as the dynamic pushing you would get sucks. Anyway, we now have a working map, so let's decorate it. First I give the walls unique and varied textures and then create a basic area for the above ceiling area. This is essentially using the same process shown in my tutorial video, but after reaching this point I decided this is when I should fit in making my map icy. After reading the comments on my last video and looking at some other winter styles, I decided I wasn't leaning into this aesthetic enough. So for inspiration, I looked at Skyrim. There's this temple in the game that's built inside of an icy mountain. I mean, there's plenty of those in Skyrim, but this is a specific one, and some of those walls have been broken apart due to the weight of the ice behind them, and occasionally there's also ice seemingly growing on the walls. All of these things I'm going to be taking for Frostbite. So first off, I want to create a massive chunk of ice that's pushing against the wall. I decided to do it in this corner. First I created the ice, then I broke up the wall and pushed it out. That was an hour of work, I really summarised it there, but if you want more, my technique of making the wall look like it's being pushed by the ice is essentially the curving technique I show off in my Overgrown tutorial, where the walls and ceiling slowly curve down, each segment at a great angle and getting more destroyed. However, there the force acting on the walls is gravity. Here the force is the massive chunk of ice. But it's essentially the same idea, some force acting on a wall. Anyway, for final touches on this, I use this icicle model and place it on bits of panel where it fits, and the result looks like this. Pretty decent, but trust me, the ice will look better on the final render. Anyway, I do this technique one more time in this corner by the laser, then I fill up the room with ice that's just sort of growing in corners like this. While making it, I wasn't sure if it would turn out right, but after seeing it finished, I actually thought this fits really well. Then I add some bonus detailing to walls, and now I move on to the ceiling, which I'm not going to be doing anything normal for. Instead I want to feature hanging panels like we see in Chapter 2 of Portal 2. You don't usually see panels at all in Overgrown Aesthetics, which I feel is a missed opportunity as they do look great, but they are an absolute pain to make. I'll probably be making a tutorial on panels sometime soon, so I won't be going into detail about how I made them. Beyond just simply hanging from the ceiling, I wanted lots of them to be dynamic and be pulled back into the ceiling at 2 points. First, when you enter the room, second time when the room is rebuilding to make that sequence even more dynamic. It took ages, but eventually I finished it. I even gave some panels flashing lights and some sounds. I also added this panel which is stuck in the ice, which I think is a nice touch. After that I decorate the area above the ceiling, and more notably, I added the snow. Don't worry about those ugly black overlays. Once I do a render with lighting, they should look good. I had to be careful when adding the snow. Whilst it does look pretty, it also blocks portals and makes movement more difficult, so I can't just throw it all over the test. Especially this one, where it's important you have most of the portable surfaces available to you when you're pushing the cube. So I went for putting the snow on the black tiles directly beneath the hole in the ceiling. After the snow, it's time for me to put in the plants. Now obviously this is winter, so we're not getting quite the jungle we see in Centripetal, for example. So here I'll be using exclusively the dead and dry variants of all the plants, applying similar techniques that I talked about in the Overgrown tutorial, such as the network of interconnected vines. And here it is. So this is what my Overgrown aesthetic looks like when I've turned down the amount of plants that I'm using. At this stage I'm happy with how it looks in full bright. Now it's time to do the lighting, where again I'm applying somewhat similar methods from my Overgrown tutorial. However, here I'm not using any green lights to highlight the plants, because they're, you know, dead. And for the light from the sun, I'm going to be using a more orangey colour, which makes it feel like the light from a sunset. A few reasons why I'm doing this. One, snow just looks better in sunset lighting, that's just a fact. And two, this mod takes place over 2 days. You start in the afternoon of the first, then it becomes night, then in the final map it's the morning of the day after. I want to show you this transition through the lighting and the map slowly changing until it becomes night. Anyway, I also added fog, some wind and some other effects, and here's the result. It's not done yet, not at all. I still have a lot of finer details to do, such as adding shaking and extra sound effects to the room change sequence. Obviously I need to add a proper entrance and exit to the test. I do want to tweak the snow distribution a bit, see if I can find some more spots to add a bit more, and there are many other smaller things like that which I want to work on more. But that's what I've made so far. Next episode I'll be making a new map, and this one won't take place in a test chamber. See ya.